Hi, I'm Maria Lawton, the Azorean Green Bean, and I have a really special treat for you today. I was asked by Laura Orleans, who is the director of the New Bedford Fishing Heritage Center. She asked me to make this dish because, I always talk about our farmers, as our unsung heroes that we have. Well, our fishermen are the same, we need to show a lot of love to our fishermen that go out there every day and catch, all this amazing fish. And New Bedford waterfront is always like the #1 in the nation for catching fish. So in my cookbook, I talk about doing it either with fresh cod, fresh hake, pollock, any kind of white fish. We're gonna be using hake, and she was able to get this hake. So this hake has been donated from Burgess Seafood, and their retail outlet is based in Dartmouth, and it's called Cape Quality Seafood. And for those of you that don't understand anything about hake and why we chose hake, is because hake is an underutilized, pretty much undervalued fish. We did not use fresh cod because it's overfished. Hake in Portuguese is abrota. And abrota was something that I grew up with having. And it's a white fish. Now, when you buy this fish, you're gonna see that it is almost like a pinkish hue to it. And it's not that stark white that you would get in a cod. It has that little pinkish hue to it, but that's okay, because once we cook it, it becomes white and flaky, and you handle it just like you do fresh cod. So today's recipe is something that my mom would make, especially in the summer. And it was using fresh fish that we would get, and she would poach it in a great onion and tomato sauce with a lot of garlic and seasoning in it. And that's what we're gonna make today. You're gonna need 2 pounds of the hake. It's a half a pound per serving or per person, okay? So I've got 2 pounds of hake that I've already cleaned and I've already portioned it out. I've got a pan with about 6 tablespoons of olive oil in it, enough to cover the bottom of the pan. I've got 2 onions, 4 cloves of garlic that I've roughed cut and added some olive oil in it as well, just to give it even more flavor. I've got about 2 pounds of cut up tomatoes. We're not in tomato season, so I am using canned tomatoes. So what I did is I took the whole tomatoes and I chopped it up myself. So this is 2 pounds of chopped tomatoes in their sauce that they come in the can. We've got about 2 cups of white wine, and I have a nice Portuguese white wine. I do not like buying cheap wine just to cook, because that flavor is gonna come out in your dish, and you don't want that. You want a flavor that you enjoy. And then I have salt and pepper to taste. I have pimenta malagueta, or red pepper paste. It's Portuguese. You can buy this in the Portuguese aisle, but you can also buy this in a lot of international aisles where they'll tell you it's a spicy paste. So I have here about 2 tablespoons. Now I know that this is spicy, and I did ask my husband, because in the recipe that I have in my book it says 1 to 2 tablespoons depending on how spicy you like. And I asked my husband today, okay, 1 or 2, and he went 2, because he likes it spicy. He likes it an undertone heat in it. And so we've got 2 in that. And then we have paprika to season the fish, as well as, I think it's about a tablespoon of paprika. Again, salt and pepper to taste. And then 1 bunch of parsley, and this is flat leaf parsley that is just chopped. And this is 1 bunch, 1 whole bunch, this is it. We're gonna come back in a few and we'll start making the dish, okay? I've taken the fish and I have put it back in the fridge for now, because this whole process of making a sauce, from sauteing the oven, sauteing the onions, I'm having a hard time speaking today, from sauteing the onions for, you know, a good 10 minutes to finally getting everything into the pan and having it come together for a half hour. So we're looking at about 40 minutes to put this together. So we're gonna start right now. I've got a pan that I've heated the oil, the 6 tablespoons of oil, and as you can see, it's getting I can see it's getting a little hot here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all of these onions, and you're going to hear a sizzle. I really do love that. I love that sound. And I am going to start sauteing these onions. You want to have it so that this is going to get nice and translucent. This is going to take a good 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the onion. I mean, sometimes, or how thin you have it cut, or how small it has, but this is 2 large onions that I have here. You know, look at this. This is becoming a beautiful, translucent onions. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, which I usually don't do that until I get my tomatoes, but I'm going to add a little bit of salt right now and kind of start building on my flavors. This became translucent a lot faster, and like I said, I am not going to get it down to the golden color. I think I want to keep the onions more intact. All right, so I'm going to add in the garlic, okay? Now I cut it in all different chunky pieces. Oh, that smell of garlic. It's, I don't know. I might have garlic in my blood too. I don't know, but that smell is just, I just love it. That's so wonderful. And as you can see, I didn't really mince it down I have like big chunks. I've got like big chunks in here. Because after when I eat this, especially with the sauce, I want to go in with that bread and just like grab it. We're gonna add the tomatoes. And like I said, these were from a can. They were whole. And then I just chopped them up. But if you have, if you're seeing this and you have your own garden tomatoes, you know, that was what my mom would use. So 2 pounds of tomatoes in their sauce. You know what's funny is that when I opened the cans, some of the whole tomatoes still had some skin. And so what I did is I made sure that all the skin was removed from them, and I did squeeze out some of the seeds because, but I wasn't, you know, able to get all the seeds, but personally, I don't like too much seeds. So now that this is well mixed, I'm gonna let it come to a little simmer. I can hear that simmer wanna, okay, let me do it. Let me get in here. I can hear it. And now I think I'm gonna throw in just a little bit of black pepper. As you can see, the only salt I've put in there was over the onions. Always salt after, and it's harder to take out salt. So I always caution myself and do less salt. And if I have to, I can always add it after. But if I over salt in the beginning, you know, that's gonna be really hard to make it less salty. So as you can see, it's coming up to a nice little simmer. And what I'm going to do is I am going to add the hot chopped peppers. And again, if you don't like hot chopped peppers, omit this. Okay, you don't have to use it. Again, I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons, but you can do 1, you can do 2. And this is a fermented hot peppers, and then it's ground and with some olive oil, a little bit of olive oil. Sometimes you don't even need to add more salt after you add the pimento or to the hot pepper paste. And then from here, I am going to add the 2 cups of wine. And like I said before, use the wine. Oh, delicious wine. This is a nice vin vert to me, to be honest, because it's the only white wine I have at home right now. And so this is a nice simmer here. I'm gonna add the wine. We're gonna stir it a few more times. I'm going to cover it. And then once I cover it, we're going to just let it. Oh, nice. Okay. See, everything kind of stops. Whenever you pour something colder than what is going on here, everything stops. So now, once again, we've got to bring this up into a simmer. Okay. And then we're going to lower the heat after it starts to simmer. And then we're going to let it be. There's a lot of liquid in here. You're probably saying, Maria, there's a lot of liquid. But you know what? This is going to get a lot thicker. But you need that liquid in there so you can poach your fish. I just want it to come up to just a little simmer. Start simmering. And then I can cover it up. Let me get that ready with the cover. Starting to simmer nicely. You can see all the bubbles starting to come up. See? Now what we're gonna do is we are going to kind of bring it down. We're gonna cover. Continue that simmer. I'm gonna lower it down to a medium heat. And then we're just going to let it be because it's a little bit, yeah, I've got it about medium heat. Like maybe in another 15 minutes, I might, open the lid, kind of stir it around a little bit just to make sure it's thickening up the way I want it to. But this is pretty much it. We're gonna cover it, kind of let it be. And when it's ready for the fish, we will come back and we'll do that together, okay? So I'll see you real soon. Hi everyone, it's been about 30 minutes or so. And as you can see, you're gonna see this because this is really, really hot here. Look at that. I'm gonna just push this over here for now. And as you can see, look, it's gotten thicker, but there's still enough liquid in here. I can just, the flavors, I can smell everything really beautifully here. So we have this here. This is all done. And now we're just ready to poach the fish, all right? Now, what I like to do, okay, is I like to just take the fish and kind of just lay that on top of the sauce. Okay. Now, as I told you before, I already had cut up, because it comes in one or two, a couple of long pieces. And I just kind of just cutting it up in smaller pieces so that when you serve it, it's kind of easier for people to take bigger pieces or smaller pieces. So I do a little bit of both. And so I have that here. I've got the little one there. And like I said, this is 2 pounds. And then one little piece there. And one little piece over here. I know that this pan here that I use here, 2 pounds is perfect for it. So what I do also, let me put this away here, is I like to season the fish a little bit. So I throw in a little bit of the paprika. You can do this before you put it on here. You can do that too. It's up to you. But I like to do this now. Okay. Just going in the sauce. A little bit of salt. Just a little. Just a little. Goes a long way. Remember, I can always salt a little bit after if I need to. A little bit of black pepper. My mom would like to use all the time, she always used white pepper because she didn't like to have people see the little black specks in food. So if you have that, you know, same kind of thing, you can do that also. And then all I'm gonna do now is, everything is there, it's in that sauce. We're gonna cover it and another I think about 6 minutes, because the fillet is not that thick. I think if it was thicker, we'd be looking at least 10 minutes for it. But you know, this was not that thick. I can start seeing how bright white it's getting, so I know it's cooked. One of the ways you can see how it's cooked is when you do raise it up the cover, you're gonna see how it starts almost like flaking a little. Like if you touch it with the spoon or a fork or something, it'll be very easily, flakeable, as well as the color of the fish. The color changes. You know, you saw how opaque it looked before. Well, it's not gonna look opaque now once it's cooked. Oh, see that? Look how the smaller pieces are already starting to flake. See that? Oh, the bigger ones are not flaking yet. But see what I mean? That is doing that sauce that's in there, that gravy. That is what's cooking the fish. Look how beautiful that's coming. Oh, that's nice. My husband already made some butter rice. So I have here my rice already ready on the plate. And this is how we'd like to serve it. My mom would, she would use a little bowl or a little cup, and she would fill it really well with the butter rice and then put it on the center of the plate. And then whatever we were having would go on top and over the rice. And it's just so good. So I have that ready. And of course, thank you to my husband, Bob. He's got the vin verde ready for me to have too. The same vin verde that is in the recipe. So I've got that. I really do think it's done. And here we go again. I'm gonna undo this and lift it up. Look how beautiful that looks. That looks gorgeous. Look at that. It smells wonderful. Oh yeah, look at that. And as you can see, look how nicely this fish has cooked up. It's poached. It is poached beautifully. So I am going to take some of this fish. There we go. Look at that. How beautiful. How beautiful is this? And take this. I'm going to go use the other spoon I have here. I want to get some of that garlic. Oh. This is my plate that I've made a mess with here for a little bit, but this is it. I mean, this is what you're going to serve your family. You're going to have this beautiful fish with this wonderful sauce here of onions and tomatoes and chunks of garlic that is just incredible. And so I'm going to go into the fish. I want you to take a look at this. Look at this. Look how it flakes. Look how beautiful and white this fish is. It's no longer pink. Oh my goodness. It's fantastic. And then with some butter rice. Oh my goodness. It's fantastic. You know, sometimes you forget, because I make this, you know, in the summertime, like I said, I make this more in the summer. But it's a wonderful thing to remind myself that we can have this year round, and to be able to enjoy fresh fish, as well as, you know, this amazing sauce that is so easy to make. And you can make it too, but for now, I'm gonna keep eating this. I'm gonna be enjoying some wine with it. I'm gonna make a plate for my husband, and we can sit down and have a wonderful dinner tonight. So with all of that, I'm going to say bon appetit. Until next time, bye-bye.